Wilkommen, bienvenue, and welcome to my review of Cabaret.
A few moments later.
Okay, but in all seriousness, this is the first musical review, so let's get pumped. I don't sense much excitement at all. So Cabaret is a musical by John Kander and ooh, and I can't remember the other guy's name. I'm so sorry. And this is a revival of the musical that I got to see. I had the pleasure of seeing in London at the Kit Kat Club, also known as the Playhouse Theatre, but just been renovated for this specific production, which is kind of amazing if you think about it. And I bring up the program. Hang on, that's the wrong side around.
1 hour later.
Side round. So I got to see Maude Apatow playing Sally Bowles, and Mason Alexander Park playing the role of the Emcee. And fair to say the two headliners nailed it. And this is a really interesting musical to talk about in terms of the story. So Cabaret, if you're not familiar with the story, which I wouldn't blame you, wasn't quite familiar with it myself, was about this up and coming star called Sally Bowles, who is a wannabe famous actor who currently works at the Kit Kat Club, run by the Master of Ceremonies, Emcee, played by Mason Alexander Park. Sally's played by Maude Apatow, and it takes a journalist to invest in a new story where he's sent to Berlin, a place he's never really heard of, and he meets the people there. The lively culture is all on display. The burlesque feel of the Kit Kat Club is there in its wondrous ways. And then the story takes a really dark turn that involves uh, the splendor of the time, the Nazis. Now, that's a spoiler. It's been around for a long time, so it's not really so much now a spoiler as it is like just a plot detail that a lot of people going in are familiar with. Like, it does deal with World War II, kind of like that, but it does it in a kind of very superficial way. Like, it's not really like the forefront of the story. The forefront is the relationship between Cliff Bradshaw and Sally Bowles, and the tragedy that ultimately strikes. And I saw this with my mother in Playhouse, and fun fact, she could not stand Rocky Horror Picture Show. I don't mind it. And I brought her to see this, and the funny thing is, she went to me, Daniel, what have you brought me to? I was going, I don't know, I haven't really read up on the details, I haven't really seen anything of it, I just know it's a really good musical. And really good musical it is, because this not only deals with dark topics, like, it's hard to talk about the musical and not mention the staging, the renovation of the Playhouse Theatre.
One eternity later.
Playhouse just happened to be this huge theater in like London, and for a long time was just a regular old theater that needed a bit of help on like the sidelines, I believe. And obviously I wasn't really dressed for the occasion. Didn't know what I had to dress up for. But the way they brought you in, like, they bring you to this basement, and it's very secretive. Unfortunately, I couldn't take any images inside the theater because they did put a sticker on my phone, which is what I'm using to record this as of right now. And then you walk in, and it's like this big, like, you feel like you're at the Kit Kat Club, is the best way I can phrase it. So acting in this was at an incredibly high standard. We're talking really high standards here now for the acting. And they all deliver. They bring the delivery and then some. they have their cake and they edit too. And yeah, it's just really interesting to talk about this musical and not mention what they've done with the Playhouse, because it's pretty astonishing work, and it's pretty much what most people are going to walk away going, geez, that's a pretty intense renovation. And you feel like you're being let in on a secret. Um, and the musical just kind of fits here. And also, this is also kind of poignant at the moment because it is moving to Broadway. I think it's officially being confirmed now that it's going to the August Wilson Theater, where Funny Girl will be finishing, starring not Leah Salong, a different person, Leah Michelle, and all the controversies that surround her. I'm not really into that. Just thought I'd mention it's going to that same theater, and can't wait to see what they do to it. Like, I know what they're gonna do to it, but it'd be incredibly interesting if I get to see it one day on Broadway. Maybe I might. Who knows? But let's just talk about the program for a sec, and we're going to get back to the review, I promise. So the program, it's a pretty decently sized program, don't you think? Here's my head for context. You can fit two of my heads on this in terms of width. Like, it takes up the whole frame. And I love the kind of little C for Cabaret. Cabaret the Cricket Club. It's very subtle. I just thought I'd give that a bit of a shout out because this is a very nice program that has a few images inside. I'm not sure if I can get away with these on YouTube because it's just some copyright. But the costumes in these are incredibly unique. Like, holy mother of God. Like, this is pretty interesting in terms of what they've done. So the heart of the story relies with Fraulein Schneider and her kind of and her Schultz. That's who it lies. I was just reading in the book there. I'm terrible with names. Played by Beverly Clean and Teddy Kempner. And the guy who played with Bradshaw is Nathan Mabia. Hopefully I said his name right. And look, I'm obviously new to reviewing musicals. I'm a big musical geek. I've been wanting to review musicals for a good while now. But you're probably all wondering now, like, where is this all going? So where will this mean for the channel in the future? Well, it should mean that I get to do a movie review and a musical review in a week. Although don't expect things to be going smoothly like right off the bat because there's a lot of musicals that I promised that update and I need to get all of them sorted. Meanwhile, other musicals that I can try and see. But yeah, if you just really enjoyed the review, not the view, then hopefully you'll enjoy Cabaret. So Cabaret will get for me in terms of story, acting, production being a big one there. The only side that I could poke a hole in terms of the quality was some scenes weren't really too creative. I'm being very careful how I say that. Because, okay, some scenes, so this is more understanding of how to done the production. Fellow YouTuber that I watch probably broke it down best. His name is Mickey Joe Theater, so maybe I'll put a thing up there. Go see his channel where he can break this down better than I could. I'm just trying to get into musical theater reviews. I'll grow and learn. We all do. But I just thought I'd start with Cabaret. Next musical, I'm going to try and review is Heathers. Because that's closing, sadly, and actually, it may be closing in next few days. So I'm going to try and get that review out. So, Cabaret out of Go Musical 5 stars. Out of 5 stars, what would I give Cabaret? Maybe give Cabaret a 4.7. I don't know, it's just one or two scenes that they're not really using what they could be using, if you know what I mean. But like, they're very, very minor issues. They're anything that could be fixed. And I hope that the Broadway show is just as good as the West End. And speaking of West End, I will have a few more reviews from the West End out soon. So would I recommend you go see Cabaret in London? Absolutely. Just beware. Very burlesque. Nightclub. Very secretive. And just beware of the content going in because it's quite depressing. Um, so yeah, go see Cabaret. And I'll see you all in the next video.